Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. With all this talk these days about market volatility and inflation and even the future of the dollar, it's no wonder people are looking beyond just stocks and bonds for their retirement.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we're seeing is a real shift from, that traditional wealth accumulation phase of life
Right.
to a focus on wealth preservation. How do we make sure that nest egg can really weather any storm?
Exactly. And that's where I think today's deep dive is going to be super interesting. We're cracking open the Gold IRA blueprint to see if it can help you secure your financial stability as you head into retirement. So if you're ready to explore this idea of a Gold IRA, we've got a free checklist to help you pick the right company. Just head over to golderablueprint.com/exclusive.
Oh, that checklist is a great resource. And it leads us right into what the blueprint's all about. It's this idea of a gold IRA, which allows you to hold physical gold,
Okay.
actual coins or bars
Wow.
within a retirement account.
Okay, so not just numbers on a screen.
Exactly. You own the real deal.
Interesting. So why would this be a good strategy specifically for retirees?
Well, let's think about inflation for a second. During the 1970s, for example, inflation soared.
Totally.
And guess what? Gold prices increased over 2,300%,
Really?
outperforming practically every other asset class.
Wow. Okay.
And that's because gold, as a finite resource,
Mm-hmm.
tends to hold its value when that purchasing power of currency declines.
So it's like a safety net against your savings, just eroding away.
Exact.
Okay, but isn't gold notoriously volatile? How can we think of it as a safe haven?
That's a great question. And you're right, in the short term, gold can fluctuate.
Yeah.
But its historical long-term trend has been to appreciate in value, especially during times of economic uncertainty.
Oh.
So think of it this way. When the stock market takes a tumble, investors often flock to gold
Oh, interesting.
as a safe haven, pushing the price up.
Right.
And that inverse relationship can actually bring some balance to your portfolio.
That's a good point. I hadn't really thought about it that way. So it's not just about beating inflation. It's also about having that cushion when things get a little rocky.
Exactly. And let's not forget, unlike digital assets or, financial institutions, physical gold is immune to things like cyber attacks or bank failures.
Right. It can't be hacked.
Right. It's a tangible asset
Yeah.
with inherent value
Okay.
that has been a store of wealth for centuries.
So you're holding a piece of history.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. But let's be honest. Isn't this just for the super wealthy?
That's a common misconception.
Okay.
There are a lot of providers out there that cater to a wide range of investors. You don't have to be a millionaire to get started.
Gotcha.
And while it may seem complex at first, reputable companies offer guidance to make the process very straightforward.
So you're not just on your own figuring it out.
No, not at all.
Okay, good. But what about scams? I feel like I hear horror stories about people getting ripped off with fake gold or shady companies all the time.
Oh, absolutely. It's crucial to do your research.
Yeah.
Thoroughly vet any potential provider. Check for things like positive customer reviews,
Right.
a really strong industry reputation. Verify the gold's authenticity. It should meet IRS-approved standards
Okay.
and be stored in a certified depository.
Okay.
And be wary of any company that's really high pressure or trying to push you into a quick decision
Right.
or charging excessive premiums. That's always a red flag.
Okay, good advice.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're feeling a little lost in all of this, remember, grab that checklist.
Right.
golderablueprint.com/exclusive.
Yeah, it'll break it down.
It'll break it down for you and make it much less intimidating.
Absolutely. And it leads us to another really crucial point, which is selecting the right provider.
Okay.
I mean, think of them as your trusted partner on this journey. They're going to guide you through setting up the account, choosing the right gold,
Right.
and making sure it's stored safely and securely.
Okay, so it's not just about the gold itself.
Right.
It's about the people handling it. So what should we be looking for in a reputable provider?
Transparency.
Okay.
That's key. You want a company that is completely upfront about all fees,
Okay.
including setup maintenance
Yeah.
and storage costs.
Uh-huh.
No hidden surprises down the road.
Right, because those can eat into your returns if you're not careful.
Exactly. You also want a team of experts who can provide personalized advice.
Yep.
It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right?
They should really take the time to understand your financial goals and then tailor a plan that fits your needs.
So it's more of a relationship than a transaction.
Exactly. And of course, we can't forget about security.
Yeah.
Your gold should be held in an IRS-approved depository
Okay.
that meets the highest industry standards.
Like Fort Knox level security.
Yes,
And
absolutely. State-of-the-art systems
wow.
and insurance to
Yep.
protect your investment.
So peace of mind, knowing your gold is safe and sound.
Absolutely. But there's one thing we got to remember. Not just any gold bar will do.
Right. The IRS has rules.
The IRS has very specific rules about what's allowed in a gold IRA. They want to ensure the purity and authenticity of the gold.
Okay.
So primarily, they allow gold bullion,
Okay.
which is coins or bars with a minimum purity of 0.995 fineness, meaning they're almost pure gold.
Wow. Okay. So we're talking the real deal here.
Yes, the real deal.
Not just some, gold-plated thing.
Yeah, no.
Okay. So what are some of the most common types of bullion used in these gold IRAs?
Well, you'll typically see gold coins like the American Gold Eagle or the Canadian Maple Leaf.
Yeah.
These are popular choices because they're highly recognizable.
Right.
And they often have a little bit of numismatic value, meaning they can be worth more than just their gold content
Oh, interesting.
because of their rarity or their historical significance.
So they're like collector's items.
Exactly, with an added layer of value.
Okay, cool. What about gold bars?
Gold bars are more of a cost-effective way to invest in bullion. They typically have lower premiums than coins and come in various sizes. So they're suitable for, different investment levels.
So coins are more like those unique pieces, and the bars are more just a straightforward way to buy a larger amount of gold.
That's a great way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's where things get a little interesting. You don't actually get to keep the gold at home.
What?
Yeah, the IRS mandates that it has to be stored in an approved depository.
No stashing gold bars under the mattress.
I'm afraid not.
Okay.
These depositories are highly secure facilities designed specifically for safeguarding precious metal.
Oh.
They're regularly audited and insured against theft, damage, or loss.
So it's actually probably safer than keeping it at home.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They offer things like climate-controlled vaults,
Oh.
meticulous inventory management,
Okay.
and state-of-the-art security systems.
So it's like a fortress for your retirement savings.
It really is.
Okay, so choosing a depository is another big decision then.
It is.
What should people consider when they're making that choice?
Much like choosing a gold IRA provider, reputation and security are paramount.
Okay.
Look for depositories with a proven track record, industry certifications, and very transparent operations. It's also worth considering the location of the depository.
Location, really?
It can matter.
Okay.
Some investors prefer to have their gold stored domestically,
Right.
while others might opt for international storage for diversification purposes, spreading their risk across different geographical regions.
That's a level of detail I had not even considered.
Yeah, and a good IRA provider can help guide you through these choices,
Right.
helping you select a depository that aligns with your overall investment strategy.
It's back to that partnership.
It is.
Okay, so let's fast forward. Let's say we've reached retirement.
Right.
And I want to start tapping into those savings.
Okay.
How does that work?
Well, the good news is taking distributions from a gold IRA is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Just like traditional IRAs, you can start taking distributions penalty-free
Okay.
at age 59 and a half.
So it follows the same rules
Yeah.
as other retirement accounts.
Pretty much.
Okay, good to know.
Now you have a couple of options when it comes to actually receiving your distributions.
Right.
You can choose to receive the physical gold itself.
So I could actually hold in my hand.
Exactly.
Wow.
Which can be delivered to you or stored in a location of your choosing.
All right.
Or you can choose to sell the gold and receive the proceeds in cash.
Okay, so it depends on what your needs are at the time and your financial situation.
Exactly. It gives you options and flexibility.
But what about taxes?
So distributions from a traditional gold IRA are taxed as ordinary income
Okay.
in the year you receive them, just like traditional IRAs.
So the tax implications are pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, good. But I imagine it's still wise to talk to a tax advisor to understand what applies specifically to my situation.
Oh, absolutely. Tax laws can be complex,
Yeah.
and a qualified professional can help you navigate those complexities.
Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. How much does this actually cost?
The all-important question of cost.
To set up and maintain this gold IRA?
Yeah, so just like any investment, there are going to be costs involved.
Mm.
Typically, you'll have setup fees,
Yeah.
annual maintenance fees, and then storage fees
Okay.
that are charged by the depository.
Right.
So comparing fees from different providers is essential
Makes
to
sense.
ensure that you're getting a fair deal. You know, these fees are an investment
Right.
in the security and the peace of mind that comes with owning physical gold
Exactly.
and having it professionally managed within a retirement account.
Like you said, you're paying for the expertise, the security, and that peace of mind. It's not just about the physical goal.
Exactly. It's about the whole package.
Okay, so if you're feeling overwhelmed or just want a really clear breakdown of the costs, remember, download that checklist
Yes.
at goldarablueprint.com/exclusive. It will give you a much better understanding of what to expect.
Absolutely. And it seems like we've covered just about everything when it comes to gold IRAs.
Yeah, from the history of gold as a safe haven asset to the nitty-gritty of choosing a provider and a depository, I feel like it's been a really good deep dive.
It's been great. It's fascinating to uncover how gold IRAs can provide that sense of stability and security,
Right.
especially as you approach retirement.
You know what strikes me is how this approach really empowers people
Yeah.
to take control of their financial future.
Yeah.
You're not relying on, the whims of the stock market
Right.
or trusting someone else to manage your money.
You're making a conscious decision to own a tangible asset
Right.
with intrinsic value,
Yeah.
something that stood the test of time.
It's about diversification
Yeah,
and really taking ownership of your financial well-being.
absolutely.
It's almost like holding a piece of history in your hand.
Yeah,
It's a reminder that, true wealth is about more than just numbers on a screen.
I love that.
But let's be realistic.
Okay,
Every investment has some level of risk.
right.
What are some of the potential downsides of gold IRAs? What should people watch out for?
That's a great point and an important one. While gold has historically performed well as a hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty,
Right.
its price can fluctuate,
Sure.
just like any other investment.
Right.
It's not a guaranteed path to riches or a get-rich-quick scheme.
So it's not a magic bullet,
No.
but it's a long-term strategy for wealth preservation.
Exactly.
Thanks,
That's
Lydia.
about incorporating gold as part of a diversified portfolio,
Okay.
not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
And as we've talked about throughout this deep dive,
Yeah.
choosing a reputable gold IRA provider is crucial to
Yeah.
mitigating risk and ensuring that your investment is handled with the utmost care and expertise.
It all goes back to that partnership and that trust.
It really does.
Now, I know we've mentioned this checklist a couple of times,
Yeah.
but I want to reiterate just how valuable this can be for anyone considering a gold IRA.
Yeah.
It's like having a roadmap guiding you through those key decisions and, potential pitfalls. Download it for free at goldarablueprint.com/exclusive.
It's packed with insights and tips to help you make informed choices every step of the way.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I think the biggest takeaway for me is that retirement planning is a personal journey. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. What works for one person might not work for another.
Right.
It's about finding what aligns with your individual goals,
Absolutely.
your risk tolerance, and your vision for the future.
Exactly. And gold IRAs can be a valuable tool
Yeah.
in your retirement planning toolkit, but it's essential to do your homework.
Right.
Consult with trusted financial advisors and make decisions that feel right
Right.
for your unique circumstances.
And at the end of the day, retirement should be a time to enjoy the fruits of your labor,
Yes.
not worry about financial insecurity.
Yeah.
So by taking a proactive approach and exploring all your options,
Mhm.
you can create a retirement that's truly golden.
Well said. Knowledge is power. The more you understand about these different retirement strategies,
Right.
the better equipped you'll be to make those decisions that empower you to live that life that you envision.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of gold IRAs. We hope you found it informative and, most importantly, empowering. Remember, the journey to a secure and fulfilling retirement starts with taking that first step.
And until next time, may your future be filled with golden opportunities. And remember, a good gold IRA provider can guide you through all these choices,
Right.
helping you select a depository that aligns with your overall investment strategy.
So it's back to that partnership we talked about.
It is.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. Let's say we've reached retirement,
Okay.
and I want to start tapping into those savings.
All right.
How does that work?
Well, the good news is taking distributions from a gold IRA is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Just like with the traditional IRA, you can start taking distributions penalty-free at age 59 and a half.
Oh, so it follows the same rules
Yeah, pretty much.
as other retirement accounts.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So how do I actually get the money? Like, what are my options?
Well, you actually have a couple of options. When it comes to receiving your distributions, you can choose to receive the physical gold itself.
Wait, so I could actually hold those gold coins or bars?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They can be delivered to you or stored in a location of your choosing.
Okay.
Or you can choose to sell the gold and receive the proceeds in cash.
Okay, so it kind of depends on what I need at the time and what my financial situation is.
Exactly. It gives you options.
Okay, good. What about taxes, though?
Well, distributions from a traditional gold IRA are taxed as ordinary income in the year you receive them, just like with traditional IRAs.
So the tax implications are pretty straightforward.
Yeah, for the most part.
But I'm guessing it's still a good idea to talk to a tax advisor to see, what applies specifically to me.
Oh, absolutely. Tax laws can be complex, and a qualified professional can definitely help you navigate those complexities.
Good advice.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. How much does this actually cost to set up and maintain a gold IRA?
That's the million-dollar question, right? The all-important question of cost.
Right.
Just like with any investment, there are costs involved.
Yeah.
Typically, you'll have setup fees, annual maintenance fees, and storage fees charged by the depository.
So it's not a free ride.
Right.
But hopefully those costs are manageable and upfront.
Yes, and that's why it's so important to compare fees from different providers
Makes sense.
to make sure you're getting a fair deal. Remember, these fees are an investment in the security and peace of mind that comes with owning physical gold
Yeah.
and having it professionally managed within a retirement account.
It's like you said, you're paying for the expertise, the security, and the peace of mind. It's not just about the gold.
Exactly. It's the whole package.
Okay, so if someone is feeling overwhelmed or just wants a really clear breakdown of the costs involved, remember,
Yes.
you can download our free checklist at goldablueprint.com/exclusive.
That's right. It'll give you a much better understanding of what to expect.
Absolutely. And it seems like we've covered just about everything when it comes to gold IRAs.
Yeah, from the history of gold as a safe haven asset to, all the details about choosing a provider and a depository.
Hmm.
It feels like we've done a really thorough deep dive.
It has been a fascinating exploration, uncovering how gold IRAs can provide that sense of stability and security,
Right.
especially as you approach retirement.
What really strikes me is how this approach empowers people
Yeah.
to take control of their financial future. You're not relying on the whims of the stock market or trusting, someone else to manage your money.
Right. You're making a conscious decision to own a tangible asset with intrinsic value, something that has stood the test of time.
It's about diversification and really, taking ownership of your financial well-being.
Absolutely.
It's almost like holding a piece of history in your hand, a reminder that true wealth is about more than just, numbers on a screen.
I love that analogy. But let's be realistic. Every investment carries some level of risk.
Of course.
What are some of the potential downsides to gold IRAs? What should people watch out for?
That's a great point to bring up. And while gold has historically performed well as a hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty,
Right.
its price can fluctuate just like any other investment.
Sure.
So it's not a guaranteed path to riches.
Right. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Absolutely not.
It's more of a long-term strategy for wealth preservation.
Exactly. It's about incorporating gold as part of a diversified portfolio, not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right. Spreading the risk.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And as we've discussed, choosing a reputable gold IRA provider is absolutely crucial to mitigating that risk.
Right.
And ensuring that your investment is handled with care and expertise.
It all comes back to that partnership and that trust that we talked about.
It really does.
Now, I know we've mentioned the checklist a couple of times already,
Yeah.
but I want to reiterate just how valuable this can be for anyone considering a gold IRA. It's like having a roadmap, guiding you through those key decisions and, potential pitfalls along the way. Download it for free at goldaroblueprint.com/exclusive.
It's packed with insights and tips to help you make informed choices every step of the way.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I think the biggest takeaway for me is that retirement planning is a very personal journey.
It is.
There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
No.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly.
It's all about finding what aligns with your individual goals, your risk tolerance, and your vision for the future.
And gold IRAs can be a valuable tool in your retirement planning toolkit. But, do your homework, consult with trusted financial advisors, and make decisions that feel right for your circumstances.
At the end of the day, retirement should be a time to enjoy, the fruits of your labor,
Absolutely.
not to worry about financial insecurity.
Yeah.
So by taking a proactive approach and exploring all of your options, you can really create a retirement that's truly golden.
Well said. Knowledge is power. The more you understand about these different retirement strategies, the better equipped you'll be to make decisions that empower you to live the life that you envision.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of gold IRAs. We hope you found it informative and, most importantly, empowering. Remember, the journey to a secure and fulfilling retirement starts with taking that first step.
And until next time, may your future be filled with golden opportunities.
Thanks for joining us.